Bring that nice and close to you, Shawnee Poo. Where start? Yeah. Let me hear you say a little. Full, dude. That sounded great, yo. All right. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fuck with Philly, live from South Street with your host, MC Alley, Rondo, but he got stuck at work, so he's here in spirit. We got our mans Keenan from Limbo. We got Two Wrists on the engineer. We got Aaron on the photog. And our special guest today, Mr. Sean Wiggs. Give it up, guys. Give it up, guys. Hey. So Sean could be called many names. You could call him Mr. Wiggles. You could call him Will. You could call him Big Shawnee Poo. You know what I'm saying? You could call him also the host of the Black Jew podcast, which y'all could check out on all the platforms that you can check out on.
Or you can call him the Gangnam Goon.
Sean is also a Second Amendment enthusiast who runs an Instagram account called Sparta Wiggs, which highlights his fun toys and his gun enthusiastic friends, and spreading out knowledge about corrupt systems and other things that are going on in this country. But I think to run it back a little bit, Sean, how would you say you first got started in or got so active in the gun community?
Well, I mean, I always felt like I loved guns. It's just that I wasn't old enough to participate in yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just that I wasn't old enough to fully partake in guns because you can only buy them when you hit a certain age, which is kind of bullshit.
This man had BB guns when he was young boys and shit.
But
so, was it always a fascination for you, since you were younger?
absolutely, for sure. It's always been a very fascinating thing to see guns in movies. Mm-hmm. And the whole Hollywood thing, guns, they kind of portray them in a super extremist way. Yeah. Guns don't make cars blow the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Guns don't bounce off of... All right. Bullets don't, bounce off of fucking cars. They get lodged in there, blah, blah, blah. Basically... I don't like Hollywood too much because they kind of portray guns in a very negative sense.
They exaggerate that shit. I was reading something earlier that was saying people say, don't blame the gun. The main argument is don't blame the gun, blame the person. But now there's this whole group of people saying blame Hollywood now. Mm-hmm. That's been a new thing. It's funny you said Hollywood.
Yeah, I think. When did you feel that? When did you start to become more active? I guess with the gun community. You could check your page out. When did you meet the guys that you go shooting with and everything?
Definitely, when I, met more people that were like-minded. And, pretty much, everyone that I guess, associate with, shares, a piece of what I believe in. Mm-hmm. But, some of them guys, really, are absolutists.
Yeah. Did you have, an OG or, who'd you look up to? Do you have, a
role
model?
So, I can't say his last name, but my man's Kev. Kev for sure. That's my OG.
Two Wrists.
What's up, man? He got you into that stuff pretty much? What?
I was already into it. It's just that he kind of opened up a different aspect. Why do we have to ask permission for certain things when we should already have it because it's been granted to us since birth? Mm-hmm.
So do you agree with everything that comes with the Second Amendment, or do you think there's even flaws in that too that can be changed?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a whole stack with you guys. You should be able to go buy a tank same day. Machine guns, same day. All that shit, same day. It sounds a little crazy, but if you, really think about human nature, we should kill millions with fucking swords and shields and arrows and spears. Mm-hmm. It's yes, it was bound to be technological advances with all kinds of weapons and stuff. Yeah. But that human nature never changes. People are always going to die. Mm-hmm. And it's a fucking... shame for sure. Don't get me wrong. It's it's very sad, but like Keenan said, it's the truth.
Yeah. Do you think there's so you're thinking of it more of a realistic standpoint?
Oh
right?
yeah.
So it's you feel that anything is possible, things are inevitable, kind of thing.
I mean, from a historical standpoint, if you think about so go back to Weimar Republic, pre-Nazi Germany, they pretty much paved the way for Nazis to do the things they did to Jews. Mm-hmm. Think if someone said this in right now, oh, we don't want Jewish people to have guns. you know how many people would be like on that person's top, like, you can't say that, you can't say that. But that happened back in that time.
Yeah.
And no one really did anything. It's like, excuse me. It's like, if you look at it like a certain way, like freedom is kind of like a mindset. And like a lot of different people that were oppressed are like kind of like, I don't want to say like guilty of this, but like, I don't know, like black slaves, for instance. Like, why did they go in the boat? Why did they willingly go into chains? You know, like, I really think it's about the way that you're indoctrinated throughout your life to really make, like laws really make you think that you're doing something wrong when you break them. So therefore you follow them. You know, it's like all in your head. And that's why, like I always say, like, freedom is a mindset wherever you go. Like, freedom is everywhere. It's just, if you like actually believe that, you know, that's when shit actually like starts happening.
Yeah.
So
what are people scared of? Why is there so many gun laws? What are people scared of? Like, I know that's like a broad question, but it's just like, what do you think the one thing people are scared of? Like, with people getting like guns and following the Second Amendment?
My bad, Sean. Can you just tilt your mic a little bit?
Oh, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
cut this
Like,
out.
this way?
Like, yeah, like that. Just so, like, even a little more.
Like
Just
that?
the trajectories like that. Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. Just so I don't hear the jacket as much as I hear your voice.
Oh,
but
shit,
I
yeah.
cut all that out. But yeah, my bad, Keenan. You were saying, dude.
What are people afraid of? So it's one thing to be like afraid of like the guns, but it could be like the person's like motive or mindset. It's like a lot of people would hate someone like me, and that's fine. You are completely free to disagree with me. You know, that's cool.
Why do you think that though? Like, what do you?
Because like people don't want to hear this. Like, do you know how many people would rather like live in a society where like someone says like, you can do this, but you can't do that. You can go here with this certain thing, but you can't go here with that certain thing. It's like people low key enjoy being governed until like they see like the long term effects. You know, like that's why people are so quick to say like, oh, you can't do that. That's the law. But like,
Who made that law?
yeah. And like the craziest thing I see, I've seen a lot of people like use like our like laws and system as like a merit system.
Mm-hmm.
You can be like a piece of shit to your family and like still drive the speed limit every day.
Yeah.
Like laws, like if you follow laws, like that doesn't make you a good person. So like therefore like why do people use it as a merit system like to judge other people? Like, oh, like he broke the law, he's a bad person. It's not necessarily true. You know?
I mean, that's interesting. I think it's like, because you think of a lot of things. It's like, why is drinking poison, which is alcohol, which I enjoy very much, so thank you, you know, whoever the fuck made this shit.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, cheers,
Oh,
everybody.
bro.
But I'm just saying, like, if you think about it, how many things, or how many pharmaceutical drugs have been killing people every year? Or how many,
That
but that's
actually
the
jumped
norm.
the spot for gun deaths.
That's what I'm saying. Or dude, diabetes is the number one fucking
Yeah.
thing that's been killing people. Like, it's just, there's so many other things that I feel like people start to think like this is the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need to eat a cheeseburger or a hoagie or all this other shit. I feel like it's the same thing with like you said, like, why can't somebody have that?
Yeah.
And that's a cool example. I didn't even think of that. Like, kind of like back in the day, everyone had a sword or a knife on them. Or if you're in the fucking Wild West, you better have a fucking strap-oli on you or you're going to get fucking skinned alive or
Yeah,
eaten by a
seriously.
fucking coyote or something. I think a lot of people, kind of like you said, they become so accustomed to, like, this is just the way things are.
Yeah.
Like, we're safe. All this other stuff. What I always tell people is imagine this, ready? That we have, like, a solar flare, right? Because I heard this, shout out Joe Rogan, of course, but he brought on a scientist, I totally forgot his name, but he came on and talked about how in, like, 1860-something, there was a solar flare. It knocked out all electricity for, like, a month. And people were fine because they barely used electricity then. They used it for, like, you know, lighting some houses or, you know, they didn't really use it that much. But imagine if we lost electricity for a month now.
Today.
Like,
Most people
all
wouldn't
your
last
money
3 days.
isn't all your money on your phone, like
Pretty much.
electronically. People are Venmoing each other. Like, how many actual solid things do you have that's worth money
I have
or value?
a decent amount of silver, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like legit silver that I keep in my safe.
I started worrying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I started worrying about. You know what I started thinking? I thought about that a lot. I started thinking about that when I fucking started applying to jobs, and it was a weird switch, yo. Because I had so many jobs, bro. But I remember doing like legit like applications, like writing my applications out.
Yeah.
But out of nowhere, the next year, every application was online, And that made me think, like, damn, like,
It's
shit's
strange,
like
isn't
just
it?
on the
Direct
internet.
deposit,
All of
I
that
mean,
shit.
checks.
Everything is electronic now, and that's scary.
And if it all goes out, how would you go to the store to get water? You have.
I know how I get water.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. See, but you're a person that's prepared.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? What I'm trying to say is like some people look at that like not that long ago there was a revolution.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we became the United States. Was that we're like this government's kind of fucking us.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do some like and we can get into all this conspiracy shit later. But I got plenty for y'all motherfuckers.
Real shit.
Not even conspiracies, like facts.
Yeah.
Like just a quick one, real quick. So what is it? Income tax. You know what that was for? War. So the only time that your income was taxed was during time of war, right? So why is every single one of my paychecks doing that, right? Actually Woodrow Wilson changed that and created like the bank holiday and centralized banking and shit like that. But I'm gonna get into that later because that's a whole other thing that I could talk about.
Taxes
Sean,
are a very good topic, Alistair.
yeah, and I mean, this kind of goes with, what you're talking about
Yeah.
too, but, a lot of people, when they think of a person protecting themselves and, pro-gun, they kind of think of, like, a white male, but like an NRA guy. But what's also interesting is, like, have you felt a difference being a black male?
Oh, yeah,
Because I
for
feel like
sure.
some people, in a fucked up way, naturally start to think, like, oh, this is... You get what I'm saying? Like a lot of people.
When you think of gun, when you think of like
enthusiasts-
gun people that like stand up for guns, you think like a white male. Like
yeah, but have you
like,
felt?
motherfucker,
Have
you
you
know?
felt like? How do you feel being a black man that's also an enthusiast? Like, do you feel that special being a person of color or being a minority that is also fighting for something like this?
It's definitely neat for sure, but it kind of
Yeah.
like opens up your eyes. Like you definitely have a lot more people against you when you like get into something that is portrayed as, oh, it's only for white people.
Yeah.
It's like now you're not only dealing with white conservatives, it's like white liberals that say like, oh yeah, like we want to enforce gun control, but they don't understand like that same law affects me too.
Yeah.
Like that same law affects my fucking Asian friend Ben. That same law affects Kevin, and he's Filipino. It's like people of color partake in guns, and for whatever reason, it can be the most important reason of their life.
I mean,
both them
history.
guys have kids.
I mean, freedom, I think we take for granted so much. I mean, look at all these other countries that take that away. Look at all these other countries. I mean, they don't have any kind of gun laws. So these people, it's them versus the government. Look at France right now.
Yeah.
France, no one talks about it here because I feel like the U.S. is kind of scared to talk about
Venezuela
this.
is a good example too.
Oh, I can get into that too, man. But like, fucking with France is that it's legit the people versus the government, and no one's allowed to have guns in France. So you're against. It's like the fucking Sith Lord versus, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's like imagine your government using aggression against you just because you want to say something. It's like this. So our like, all right, look, our people and like our history with this government. We wanted equal rights, yo. They killed us because we wanted equal rights. Think about that. Reagan didn't want a certain faction of people to have guns because he was scared.
and he
you know,
invented
like,
crack and AIDS,
yeah.
but we can get this.
And like, he's scared of people that really want to be free.
Yep.
You know?
I can see that.
And it's not like
That's a
we
nice way.
wanted-
That's a nice way to say it.
So look, we wanted to be here. It's not like we wanted to be here and then step on people's throats.
But that's what
Smack your
they're.
hand a
But
little
I
bit.
think that's what they were scared of, or some people are still scared of. They think that we're gonna wake up, like minorities one day are gonna wake up and be like, you know what? We're not slaves no more. We're not fucking put down no more. What if we fight back? I feel like a lot of people think that we're gonna get to a point that we're gonna like do to them what they did to us, and it's
If you
kind of
want to know
weird.
the most aggressive, like faction, like of people in this nation is government, bro.
Yeah.
If you go against the grain and don't pay your taxes, yeah, they might overlook it 1 year, but if you keep going, they send strangers after you. And there's some people out there that might say, oh, they're just like people from the IRS or agents. Nah, they're strangers with guns.
Yeah.
And they're coming to lock you up and throw you in a cage until you give them that bread.
Yeah, because they feel
That's
like
crazy.
because they feel like you owe them money.
Yeah.
It's a strange kind of concept.
They
isn't
feel
it?
entitled to your money that you make, that you bust your ass for 40 hours a week, if not more. I know dudes that work fucking 90 hours a week. it's like that is a very barbaric process for strangers to come after you based off of orders, and they think like, oh yeah, I'm doing some honorable thing. This guy's an asshole. He didn't pay taxes. But like,
Yeah, what the fuck?
step
are
back and look
taxes?
at what you're doing to someone you don't even know.
Is the IRS even the government? What is that? Like a private?
That was invented with Woodrow Wilson too. That's an income tax collector. That's all it is. Think
So
about
that's
it.
not like that's not a government sanction. That's like a.
I mean, there's so many weird factions because then people say like the CIA killed JFK, which is probably totally true because JFK was with civil rights. He didn't want to go to Vietnam, and the CIA is not really a part of the government. That's what's kind of weird. It's like you start to look at these branches of things that you think are all connected.
They all
as a
can't even
government,
get along.
but they have their own agendas.
They're like
all
private,
of them.
like, yeah.
The FBI, the CIA, like they don't work well together. Here's a great example. Every fucking cop movie you've ever seen, right? What happens? You go to the scene. This is my scene. There's another guy. No, this is my scene. Then some other guy comes in. I'm afraid not. This is my scene. You know, it's like
Step away, boys.
it's like there's factions in
Wrap 'em up.
between themselves that they don't fuck with each other, that they don't work with each other. So we think it's like some old big kind of thing. And I mean, I don't know. We can get into this. All right, I got you ready. So Sean, running this Instagram, right, that y'all can check out called Sparta Wiggs. Sean shows off some of the hottest new weapons that you can get. He's out here doing his fucking thing, and he's encouraging people to really just not. It's people get it so twisted thinking that because I feel like it's like a car, right? You could run a car into a crowd of fucking people or a building or set it on fire or kill people on sidewalks. You could, but you don't.
Or you can go to the racetrack and race it.
Yeah,
where
or you
it's
could just
safe.
drive like a normal person
Yeah, like,
and never have to use it violently ever, right? So it's kind of like I feel like people get it twisted like it's like, oh, that's all it's meant to do. But I think what you guys show a lot is that it's a way to kind of just protect yourself. But have you seen any kind of like backlash running this Instagram, kind of running your views and things like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. From
Who's
like,
it? Like
from
is-
like all kinds of people, bro. And depending on what I post,
Yeah.
you know, like I won't get like super deep into like what I post on my stuff because like it's for certain people
Yeah.
and it's not for other people.
Mhm.
Like a lot of statists like hate my Instagram.
Okay.
They hate me.
What do you mean status? Yeah.
So someone that believes that like government is necessary, like, oh, if I pay taxes, you had to pay them too.
Yeah.
Oh, you should just comply.
Okay.
Oh, you should have just listened to the cop. You'd still be alive today. Like that's a status.
That's
That is a
crazy.
dangerous person. So, like, if you guys ever seen the Barbecue Betty meme, she's a status. Like she used the power of the state to impose her will on other people that she didn't like. That's a dangerous person. Like,
It's someone that acts
Yeah.
like they're there for the people, but then really have a huge agenda to it.
Mhm.
I think
It's
just-
like-
yeah.
that situation could have went super south.
Mm-hmm.
Those people could have gotten fucking shot in the face by them cops.
Oh hell yeah.
Thank God they didn't. But just imagine someone like using the state to impose their will, and then you end up facing the ultimate consequence for that. And also, here's another like really like fucked up aspect of like cop shootings.
Yeah.
Whenever like, all right, so like whenever the victim's family gets like, I guess like a compensation, so whatever township or city that happens in, like they give the money, but like we the taxpayers pay for that officer's actions. Think about that.
That's fucking crazy, man.
We
And
pay
look-
taxes, local taxes. If
That's
an
kinda
Abington
never
officer
thought of.
shot somebody and that victim's family got bread, like we ultimately pay for that officer's actions.
Yeah. I
'Cause
mean,
we
I
get
just
taxed by the
I
township.
never thought of that.
I just want to say too, like the one thing that I think is wrong with a lot of police officers, and don't get me wrong, I know some amazing police officers. I know some really good guys that have never pulled their gun out. They never killed anybody. They're actually walking around. They're a piece of the community. But the problem that I think happens is that when one cop is so out of line that it's obvious, and that the police department backs them. It's like, I think if you really want your vision and your like who you are to be portrayed in a good way, you can't be backing these assholes. You have to be like, I'm sorry about him. Fuck that.
Yeah.
He should be in jail. He should do this. But I think what happens with a lot of these officers in a lot of these places is they're like, no, he's fine. He's just, you know what I'm saying? But you also have to take responsibility for those actions.
Yeah.
And it's a weird job, to be honest. But there's also a lot of corruption. just like anything. You know what I'm saying? Just like a sports organization or anything like that. But I think as a good officer, you have to almost be like, I don't condone that. Like, you need to speak up and be like, fuck that guy. That's what makes everything better.
See, it's wrong. This is not me saying I understand why they. Well, no. I understand why they do it, and I don't agree why they do it.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to seem like. They don't want to
Disloyal.
seem weak. Not even disloyal. It's like you seem weak. Like when you're a part of a group, you're supposed to be solid. You're supposed to be sturdy. You can't be being like, oh, I'm part of this group, but I don't agree with that person that's also part of this group, because then you're gonna like people lose respect for them.
But the thing is
You know
the
what I'm
group
saying?
that they're a
Like,
part of should be us, the civilians. It shouldn't come down to like
it should be that
they
way.
shouldn't feel separated between us. That's
It
where I think it got
should,
fucked up
but
at.
I'm
The
saying,
cops are about really protecting themselves. Seems like more than sometimes the people.
I think the cop mindset, like, all right, so look, there's two things, collectivism and individualism, right? Like, their idea of being like a collective group is like a dangerous mindset. It's like, all right, think if you pulled up on a scene and like your boy like shot someone like based off of like they were scared, like I feared for my life. And it's like you like the first thing you think is like, oh, bet I'm about to back my boy. Like he's right. But like you weren't there to see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like a dangerous mindset to have in like a group. Like back your people no matter what. Like I support all my friends, but like you gotta like look at it from like all angles. Like
Like if Keenan raped and killed like a whole family and then like dug him in the backyard and then chopped him up and then grind him into meat and then like fed it to a bunch of dogs
and you didn't know
and
this.
then flew and
all
then
right, come
did
on,
it to a bunch of
all
other
right,
families.
we get it.
And then he ate them and then he ate them and drank their blood and fucking all these other things. I would be like, fuck Keenan, right? As a friend, I'll be like, the fuck you doing, man? Stop eating people, Keenan.
That's a real friend.
Stop chopping them up. Stop putting them in the tub. Stop feeding them to dogs and shit. The fuck is wrong with you, Keenan? Are you fucking crazy?
He's right though. Part of being like a
Am I
good
right or am I
person.
wrong?
No, you're right though. Part of being like a good person and a good like
Keenan,
team
Aaron not
member
even paying attention to you. I
is-
wish I had a
is-
camera on Aaron the whole
is
time that
being
he's
able-
filming us too.
yeah, but you gotta be able to
There's
call.
definitely accountability
Just
for
rolling
sure.
You gotta be accountable. You gotta like hold your friends accountable. You're not a good friend if you're letting your friend go around fucking.
But if I didn't know, I'd be
do
like, "Fuck, I'm
fucked up
sorry."
shit. You know what I'm saying? Huh?
But if I didn't know, I'd be like, you kind of have to like pick and choose. I mean, who you support, and I think it kind of shows your own morals of like who you support and who you blindly follow. And kind of like you said, I feel like a lot of people nowadays are sheep. Right? There's three kinds of people. I've heard this. It might have been from Team America, but I don't think it was from Team America because that's too deep. All right. So Team America said there's assholes, pussies, and dicks. Right?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna get into that. I don't know their analogy. But there's Tim Kennedy, who's a Green Beret in the United States military, right? Also ex MMA fighter or UFC fighter. But he said there's sheep, there's wolves, and there's sheepdog, right? So there are wolves all over. There's always gonna be a wolf wherever there are sheep, right? There's always a sheepdog, right? So it depends on like I feel like there are people out there, but you need to pick and choose. You need to obviously see who is a fucking wolf, even if they're on your side. Let's say you're a sheep and you're walking around with a wolf. You might be like, I get we're friends, but like I feel like you'll turn on me at any point, at any time, right? You kind of have to be smart. You have to see actions. Like I've known people for a lot of my life, and then they do something, and you kind of really see their intentions on things, and then you're like, wait, fuck you, get out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the same thing that the police force have to do, because there are some really good fucking cops. There are guys that don't ever pull their gun out. There are guys that go out there that do their fucking job. There are people that let people free. Trust me, there's been plenty of times where I should have been book status and someone kind of let me go just because I was like, hey, man, you know? And it could be from a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of us, maybe not all of us, but some of us have stories where you meet one that you're like, that was a cool guy. And it makes you change your perspective. But then all it takes is one shit cop to be like, fuck them. But the thing is as a cop, I feel like you need to be responsible to be like, fuck that guy too. You're right. I don't agree with that. But what happens is they become this one interlocked society thing where they're just like us versus them. But that's not how it should be because you're protecting us. So if you're them versus us, it seems like you're against us almost, right? I don't know.
No, I feel that. I had a question, yo. I don't know, it's not off topic, but it just like kind of goes along with like laws and shit like that.
Sure.
What's the most absurd gun law you heard?
I was about to ask that.
Definitely a red flag law. Certain states enforce it. Actually, I got a buddy whose uncle got killed because of that law.
What's that?
Shit.
So, if you live in a state that is pro red flag, someone that feels like you're not fit to own guns can call into like your local PD, and off the word of mouth, they can come raid your home
And take all your shit?
Yeah,
That's like 302 somebody.
yeah, and it's
Without
like
a warrant or anything?
like off the word of mouth. So
Wow.
say if you got a spiteful family member, y'all don't get along, but you're still a sane person. You know, you're still all there.
Could be them.
You're still
yeah.
very responsible, but they're just spiteful. They might say, "Oh, bet I'm gonna do this. Let me call them so they can fucking run up on this guy and shoot him in the face, even though he's my family."
Yeah. Do you think?
That's a dangerous thing? You know?
Yeah. Do you think red flag has ever worked? I mean, in some
Definitely
situations,
not.
but
Like-
probably way less good than, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely way more bad. Like
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
more like slips through the cracks and shit. Speaking of, I want to say it was the FBI. When that guy shot up the nightclub full of people that were
Yeah, in
gay.
Orlando. Yeah.
So they had a couple pings on that guy. Apparently, like they had him on their fucking radar, and they kind of just like let him go.
Yeah.
It's like
Sometimes.
like it shows you like we see all these flaws in government, and we kind of just overlook it because we're not like victims of that flaw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, oh well, that didn't happen to me, so like therefore like they're fine.
I think that's probably if not the biggest problem I think we have in America.
Yeah.
Or
Which
just
is the
as
mass
humans.
shootings
Yeah.
that's been happening.
No, I mean like saying if when shit doesn't affect
Yeah.
you, you don't care about it.
Yeah.
You worry about it. And that's fucked
It's
up.
like so I seen this thing with it was Houston SWAT. They ended up raiding the wrong address, and they killed a couple and their dog. And I seen all these people like saying all this shit under the videos, like, oh well, they should have just complied. You know, they would still be
What's that
fine.
even
But like, yo,
mean?
God forbid if you were like the wrong address, like you'd be mad as shit if people were saying like, yeah, like you should have just done that. Fuck
Yeah,
that
what the
shit.
fuck? This is my. I don't
That's
even know who
like-
you guys are.
Yeah, that's like a huge fuck up. Like these people are supposed to be professionals. Like I'm more responsible than fucking some of those guys that went up in that crib thinking like, oh, this is the right address.
Yeah.
Let me kill the whole family and the dog.
I think there should be more of a warning.
I definitely want
A
to do
warning.
that. Yeah.
Like with this red flagging thing, it seems like what could work really well is if someone was like warned, hey, someone red flagged you. If you want to fight this, do this, and that. We can go to court. We can talk. We can figure this out. But do you know what states have this red flag? kind of
Maryland
thing?
for sure.
Okay.
California, and a couple other ones. But like that's the whole point of the law. Like they want their people that use aggression to have like that. It's a term like surprise action. You know, like being able to like bring violence to someone without them like really being like prepped.
Like aware, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like if someone called in a red flag on me, it's like you wouldn't want me to know they're coming, because
Yeah.
like then it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah.
It's like you want them to come at 4 a.m. when I'm like sleeping, you know, like dead asleep, dogs in the kennel, blah blah blah. Like that's like their whole goal. Like they don't want people. They don't
even
want
know.
people to be informed that we're coming for you, because either you're gonna get someone that's very compliant or someone that's very yeah.
Now, kind of covering that, because I feel like the one thing, and this could either be orchestrated. I'm not that much of a conspiracy person or anything, but like all the mass shootings that have been happening, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I feel like now gun law, like gun restriction is bigger than ever because of these things that have been happening.
Based off of mass shootings, yeah.
Based off of mass shootings. But can I run some numbers real quick that I looked up, right? And if you can help me out too, Riz, too, real quick, in like 2 seconds, I'm going to ask you for something too. So you have 300 people died last year from mass shootings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. A lot of them, sometimes kids, sometimes people in Vegas, all these things, these nut jobs, right? But you know how many people have died from police shootings last year? 900.
Shootings from cops are incorporated in the yearly gun death.
Yeah, and
People don't
suicides
know
too.
that. Yeah.
And suicides is actually the number one death by gun scenario is actually suicides. Now, if you want to look up real fast, how many people died of erotic asphyxiation, if you can for me, in a year? Because
wasn't it like 1,500 now?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. So, if that's the case, and I want to get the real number from Tourist, if you can help me out real fast. Erotic asphyxiation is when you're choking yourself with a bet while masturbating, so you get a nice little high as you come.
Oh,
yeah.
I would never do
like
that.
that?
Now, have you seen Kill Bill? Bill
did it to himself.
died like 3 years ago from that shit. Fucking celebrity, dude. He was dressed up as Batman, and he was choking himself, beating his fucking dick through his whatever legging things that Batman wears. You know?
Solid 160 people died of erotic asphyxiation.
160, right? So that's a problem too. How many people a year have died from diabetes? If you could look that up too.
I have a question.
Do we outlaw food?
What do you think is involved in more deaths? Guns, alcohol, or drugs?
Opioids for sure.
Yeah. Actually, in a single year, I actually did a whole study. I think it was like 2017, 2019. More people died from opioid overdose than the whole Vietnam War in the United States. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
So why are we not outlawing doctors?
So
Or
let me tell you something
benzos.
about doctors, right? This is also comes into the play of taxes and education. What's the difference between a doctor that deals opioids and a drug dealer that deals opioids?
Sounds like a sick drug.
The doctor went to school and they can be taxed. The government's cool if you can be taxed. But the person that does it black market style, they can't tax him. And he's probably making a little bit more, not more money than the doctor, but it's more consistent than the doctor for sure. Government doesn't like that. If they can't tax you, fuck you. That's pretty much what they say.
That's why you got all them people calling fucking the cops on little ass girls selling lemonade on the side of the road. You saw that? It was like just like that lady calling the cops on the cookout. Some lady tried to call the cops on the little ass girls selling lemonade. Like, that's corny as fuck, bro. Like, why are you mad? Like,
that's indoctrination, bro. Like they
it's self-policing.
They grew up with the mindset thinking like you have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
Fuck the rules, yo.
Fuck the rules.
Rules can get you killed.
People treat the law like it's the Bible, bro. Like this self-policing shit is getting out of hand, yo.
Yo,
Like it's getting
I
so
always
getting out
told
of hand.
myself, if someone tried to citizens arrest me, yo, I'm fucking everybody up in that joint. No one as an equal is gonna put their hands on me and like keep me held. You're getting fucked up, straight up. All right, so all those people think that they can be like some type of like fucking authority until the like real fucking authority shows up. Yeah. Fuck you, straight up.
Yo, real rap. It's like, who the fuck are y'all
Yeah.
anyways? You know what I'm saying?
Stay here. You're not here. You stay right here.
Bro, it's like imagine some old man trying to do that to you, and he ends up putting his fucking hands on you. I don't care how old you are. Like, you want to be treated like a man, I'm gonna treat you like a man.
Yo, you see that family? So this is what happened. I think a family was in the dollar store. It was I want to say it was a pregnant mom. She had like a baby, and like maybe like a little girl or something like that.
Oh, I think
And there
I
was
saw
the dad.
this.
You saw that shit. The little girl, and this is something I did so many times as a little kid. When you see something in a store that you want, you're grabbing it, yo. You see a toy, you see candy, you're gonna grab that shit. The little girl grabbed a dollar at the dollar store. Yeah, she grabbed a joint at the dollar store. And as she like walked out, I guess she just like they try to say like she stole it or something like that. And the cops like ran up on the car like pointing guns at them and everything. Over a stolen, not even stolen. The little girl grabbed a dollar store doll, and they pointed all these guns at them. Like,
Bro, they were saying some pretty heinous stuff too. Like put your hands up, we're gonna blow your fucking bro. They were saying some scary stuff, and it's like, all right, so look, those people that called the cops, like, there's really like different kinds of status. Like, it's people that know that the group of people that they don't like are definitely going to face some type of heat. But then there's other people that really like don't understand the type of aggression that cops can come with. People think, oh, they're going to get a citation, blah, blah, blah. Like,
yeah. If they
but
come
nah, like,
aggressive,
like,
then
yeah.
it's like, what are you supposed to do?
It's
kinda
like,
thing.
if I called the cops on someone over some bullshit and they ended up getting killed, like, I would feel like a piece of shit. Straight up.
What else? I feel like some people don't. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
They don't think twice about that shit.
Mhm.
They go about their day like,
Well, it
Those
also
are the kind of
depends on the
people that-
area
yeah.
too. I mean, profiling is a big thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I feel like not even that. But I feel like it's. I mean, not even just with the local police enforcement, but it's almost like a national thing that gets kind of creepy. Do you know what I'm saying? Fun fact, right? Because I got another one too. So we're kind of at war with a lot of people, right? But we talked about banks earlier, like the income tax, and then
Yeah.
the federal banks, right? I mean, not even the federal banks, but what is it? Institutionalized banking, right? So who runs that in the United States and most of the world is the Rothschilds, and then it's like J.P. Morgan, Merrill Lynch, all these guys, right?
Lots of families that keep their wealth in the family, if you know what I
For
mean.
generations. It's kind of crazy. Like, if you go back to how powerful the Rothschilds have been, it goes way back, right? So let's talk about this. Ready? You know who doesn't right now have a Rothschild bank in their country, right? Do you know it? All right, so ready?
Wasn't it Syria?
All right, so ready? It's Bolivia, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Syria, Venezuela. Who are we all in like cahoots with right now?
We were
All
trying
of
to
them.
get troops down to Venezuela.
All of them. Now, here's the even crazier part. In the early 2000s, you know who was also a part of that list who didn't have the centralized banking from the Rothschild was Iraq. This is the 2000s, right? Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, and Sudan. You know what happened in those places in the early 2000s? And you know why? It's weird. They're not on the list anymore after we've been at war in every single one of those countries. Muammar Gaddafi got killed, right?
Yeah.
The Libyan president, right? Then you got
And now it's even worse
Iraq.
than when
Iraq, which was Saddam Hussein, right? And then you had Afghanistan, which we were at war with them for that fucking long, right? So there's this weird kind of similarity, right? And now they're not on the list because there's Rothschild banks there. Not trying to say some shit and I get killed and I'm like a fucking conspiracy theorist dude or something. But it's just a strange coincidence, is it not?
it's all about
Is that
control.
not something to think about?
Think about having so much money that you can tell a superpower, if you go here, we'll pay you. If you go here and not only kill people. Oh, actually, hold on. Sorry. So I would like to add like a different topic off of what Alistair said. You know, like people talk about like responsibility with like people like being able to like own guns and like arms and stuff.
Yeah.
And most people usually say like, oh, like we only want government to have like explosives and like weaponry, all this crazy weaponry. But like they have a huge amount of collateral that they do like to like get like bad people in like a foreign land. Like a lot of innocent people have died for the sake of getting a bad person. How is that responsible? That's like the furthest thing from responsible. That's gruesome.
Yeah.
To think that you're doing a duty, like, oh, bet, like, I killed this bull's whole family, but I got him too. It's like, come on, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
We saw that.
And you want to put laws in place that bottleneck me from getting shit? I didn't go over there and do nothing. I'm a responsible person for the most part.
It's like how many innocent deaths are in a fucking, like in a war zone. Like every time there's a drone drop. It's like, so how are they responsible? But I can't be responsible. But at the same time, personally, I feel like there are definitely crazy people out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And that's why I think owning a gun should be like a car. Like a car, right?
But, like, do you ever think about it like this of, like people from, like, a foreign land came here and, like, not only, like, started, like, going after, like, bad people, but they started driving strikers over your crops. They destroyed your homes.
Yeah.
They destroyed the fucking giant down the street. It's dangerous to go to work every day.
That's what
Like,
I was
oh
saying.
yeah, work's still open. Like, you can come in,
Yeah.
but you might get killed going to work
Bro,
today.
but that's
Think
what-
about that, yo.
That's what
like,
I was saying. I was saying
yeah.
like, that's why I was saying. We don't. How don't we see it like that?
It's
You don't.
all
We. That's what I'm saying.
indoctrination,
You
bro.
not
It's like patriotism.
us not being able to shit that doesn't affect us not being able to see it is a problem. Like I had this conversation all the time. Like if we saw that played out in any other city, we'd be like, that's a problem. If somebody in Philadelphia went on a whole block and cleared a whole block out to look for one drug kingpin there, we'd be like, what the fuck?
it'd
We'd
be
be
a
marching on the
that
streets.
should be crazy.
But why is that okay to do? Over
I mean, there
in
was a
another country?
bombing in the 80s.
Yeah, the fucking move bombing.
Yeah, that's some shit.
But that's just whoops a daisy, right?
What is that? Wait, what
fine.
is that? I
Kev,
don't
can you
know.
look that up?
No, I'm saying like, what is that?
What is it called again?
We don't know about
The
that.
move
We shouldn't
bombing.
even have to look up. We shouldn't even have to look that up.
Do you guys not know about that?
No, but I'm saying the fact that you're looking this up right now is sad. We
Yeah.
should know about this.
That's what I'm
This is
saying.
some shit they
And
be
we're from
teaching
Philadelphia,
in
too.
It's a
school.
long ass Wikipedia page. Everyone should read that Wikipedia. Like endorsement. Out and like.
But like,
Shout out Wiki. If
just
anybody,
to like, kind of like spin that topic off, like to kind of like simplify it. Think if foreigners came here and started fucking your shit up, would you just let that shit rock? Don't get me. There's definitely some terrorists over there, but
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna fucking catch wreck people that just came here on orders.
Or what
Come
about
on now.
fucking? What about all the fucking like I said? What if something happened with a power outage or something like that? And the thing is, like, does it really make a crazy person to do whatever it takes to protect your loved ones?
Yo,
right?
you're only 9 meals away from anarchy. If you don't eat for 9 meals, like, you'll do some nut shit for some food, especially if you have like a family. Like,
That's what I
Colton.
said. Yeah, like if Colton was hungry, like
yeah,
I'm
you would do
gonna
some
kill
crazy shit for
Keenan
Colton.
and I'm gonna chop him up. I won't feed him to the dogs, but I'll grind him up like as if I was gonna feed the dogs, like he might have done, to those other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You would
And
do
from
some
there-
crazy shit.
And from there,
Yeah.
I'll just cook them up like stir fry.
Yeah.
But out of love, though. Out of love.
Yeah.
If you didn't eat one meal.
So I actually had
I
a
mean,
combo
minus
with my
one,
family, and like they were baffled that I said this. I was
That's
like, yeah,
probably true,
like
dude.
if there was some type of destabilization, like it wasn't safe to go get food no more. If I see my mom starving, the next stranger I see with a pack of water or food, like I'm pointing my gun on, like, and I'm saying like, yo, I need your shit. Like, give me your shit.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
And I mean, and the funny thing is like a lot of people would hear that and be like, "Wow." But the
That's
thing is,
so
it's like,
wrong.
but in a way, it's reality. It's kind of like what a lot of people say with like when they're like treat the animals right, kind of stuff. Do what the animals do to each other?
Oh yeah.
You think
It's
this
very
fucking
brutal.
You think this house cat hasn't murdered a million things?
It's like it's sad.
It's just weird. You don't think wolves go eat for their they do it for their family.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is like people get this like twisted idea that the world is like this naturally, and there's nothing wrong with wanting that, but you also have to be practical as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know
Very
what I'm saying?
practical.
Like I have my views on gun laws too. I mean, like I totally agree with everything Sean's saying, and then I also agree with what some other people say. But I think that it's kind of a thing that it's like if you're able to protect yourself, I think that should be totally fine. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we should be walking around. I don't think I need an AK-47 in my car because sometimes I get cut off, and I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm thinking like, I'll do anything to get this motherfucker back. But that's just me thinking in the moment. So me personally, but I think that also comes to the responsibility of the individual. Like with a car, you could be mentally insane with a car, and you can get drunk as shit and kill a family behind the wheel. That's why I think there should be ways that people like Sean is so knowledgeable about all of his fucking weapons. Like, I love Sean. He's the most cuddly dude in the fucking world. He's the nicest big man I ever met in my life. And you walk in his house, and he has everything that you could think of, but he is so precise and protective and very knowledgeable about everything. He'll tell you every piece of it. He'll tell you that you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not, like, people aren't in there pointing it at each other, even if it's got a safety on or no clip in it. Like, the thing is, like, I feel like it's good for people like Sean who are so responsible with it, and your shit. But I know there's also dumbasses that don't. But that's why I think that I think it's such a gray area. But I think for one person to say that no one should have it anymore, and that you give it to the fucking people that are taking all of our money anyways, and that kind of control our whole agenda on the rest of the world, that it's like, oh, they got our best interests at hand, right? Come on now. What the fuck are we talking about?
A random question.
How long ago was the draft, dude?
Protecting.
We would have all been fighting in fucking Iraq if that shit didn't happen in Vietnam. What the fuck are we talking about, man? We trust them? They fucking were telling us that people of different colors were different beings, right? fucking, oh, and us poor government, we need money from you guys, right? Us politicians, oh, I need tens of millions of dollars for my campaign and shit to fucking do that. And then when you're up there, you do everything that you didn't even promise. The fuck is this? Oh, and I can only pick from 2 parties at the end? And they make me feel bad. They're like, oh, don't vote for this guy. He has no chance. Oh, fuck you. What the fuck does that mean? So now you're controlling who I fucking vote. Oh, it's either this or that. No, get the fuck out of here. Well, I don't trust any of them. How about I could vote for this guy, right? It's such a manipulation kind of thing. And the one good thing that I like nowadays with the internet and everything is that I feel like that's going to be so obsolete. Like MSNBC, Fox, all this other media bullshit that's like, it has a narrative on it, right? So it's like, I can do my own fucking research like we're doing right now. I could be like, okay, so who doesn't have Rothschild bank right now? You could find that. How many people died from erotic asphyxiation? You know what I'm saying? You can find that. Mass shootings, cop shootings. It's like, these are real numbers now, which I like. And that's why I feel like the future kind of comes into good things. But like,
if you're able to think outside the box.
If you can think outside the box.
Do you guys want to hear a funny thing about voting?
Go for it.
All right. Say on a smaller scale, right? If you voted and you give your voice away, because you're really giving your voice away in a sense. Think if you gave that voice to your friend and he spoke for you every single fucking time you wanted something, right? That would be frustrating and fucking embarrassing. That's kind of how it is with our party system today. Like, we give our votes, our voices, because that's really what it is. It's your fucking voice. We give it away permanently or temporarily, and this person or that person gets to control you, gets to run systems that control your daily life, your long-term life, your fucking life as a whole.
Yeah.
Everything you do is fucking somewhat restricted or fucking regulated. You go to work and get taxed. You pay fees on your car. You pay taxes on your fucking house. You had to pay to get your driver's license.
Real shit.
That's not a privilege. Like if you hit a certain age and you can drive a fucking car, it's like, bet. Like, why do I got to pay to get my license?
I had a question. Fucking, cause you're saying like it's frustrating like for people to like give your vote up and have like a like group or like title speak for you and stuff like that. What do you think? This might be a little bit controversial, but what do you think about the NRA? Like, how much pool? Like, since you're in the guns and shit, like, they're all there?
Yeah, do you agree with their?
Yeah,
no, they're super fuds. Like, I haven't given a single dime. And like when people hear me say that, so a fud is someone that partakes in guns, but they say, "Oh, Sean, you shouldn't have suppressors. Like, what's the point of that? Oh, Sean, you don't need this. You don't need that. Like just have like a fucking shotgun and a bolt action rifle." Bro,
so like half in, half
mind
out.
Your own fucking business, first of all. And second of all, like, it's like all this stuff, right? Fucking, like, I want to say the NRA's been around for a pretty long time now.
I mean,
and they get bread.
How much pull do they have in the government? Like, they got a lot of pull.
I mean, they definitely, like, pay certain people to, like, do certain things for sure. But, like... But
1871. That's a long
wow.
time. So that's a long time.
Do you think? I mean, they had a big call in the Second Amendment. I'm guessing, right? I mean, they were probably a big party before the because.
No, they
1876 is. Oh no, 17. I'm sorry, I'm tripping.
They still advocate.
I'm a whole 100 years off. You're right.
Like they still believe in control.
Okay.
Like they support certain laws and stuff. All right, look. Think about a FUD being like the Uncle Tom. That's how I would say it.
They're on your team.
It's people that can cripple you in a heartbeat because you think like, oh, like you're on my team, but like once you're able to say like, oh, that bull's a FUD, like you can stop fucking with them, stuff like that. But it's like those people, like if they don't like something like, oh, like I don't know, silencers are becoming more like readily fucking available. Like I'm gonna vote against that. Actually, so before we get started. Like, I only believe in, like, when you hunt, like, I only hunt pests, coyote, hogs, shit like that. Like, very invasive species.
Hog hunting is really big. Right?
Yeah,
that was you telling me about it.
It's called piggy cop.
Yeah. Piggy cop?
Hop in the copter.
Oh, my God.
But the craziest thing, what a lot of people don't know, because they think it's like you're killing these Do you know how vicious boars are? And you know how they're
Yo,
running
boars are
rampant?
very
They carry
invasive.
in
Yo,
Texas?
They carry so
Dude,
much disease.
Yeah.
When they're 5 months old, they can have a litter of 30.
Yeah.
And these things are killing wildlife,
So-
crops. People can't grow anything.
Yeah.
And Texas is already hard enough to get food. It's like the thing is like people look so down upon like animal population, but the thing is like sometimes it's like imagine if we had hogs all over the fucking place.
Bro, those
They're not fucking gonna go down
yo,
easy either. They'll eat
those
you.
things can
dude.
kill you.
Yeah,
Straight up.
they'll start eating your.
The Spanish brought them here in the 1800s, and like they reproduce like crazy. Like
5 months old.
There's so there's people in Texas that own land. They try to sell their land because it's such a pain in the ass. Like there's this one guy that I actually follow on my gram, and he always shows videos of like them like tearing up the land. Like every like 50 yards is just bunch of dirt. Like bunch of dirt, no grass. It's like crazy. Like they're very dangerous animals, and like if they were kept down to like a reasonable size, like like don't
we
fuck
could-
with them. But there's literally millions of fucking pigs.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking
It's
crazy.
it's ridiculous.
It makes sense. I mean, of course, nobody wants to see no animal get killed. It's not about that, but it's about conserving land. It's about the long.
Yeah, man, and I did this whole project at school about how pretty much like the hunting organization has saved wildlife in the United States.
Oh yeah,
Because these people that you have to get a license to do so, right? You got to pay for it, but legit, all these proceeds. Think about what it does, because what makes hunting better is a good, accessible amount of land, plenty of it, places that you can go, and honestly. You'd be a fucking asshole if you're killing Bambi in the fucking woods.
yeah.
You want a buck. You want a
Yeah.
big boy who's been living around for a while. You do that, and I get it, right? But the thing is, they're also overpopulated as well. And you know how, like, the number one provider of, like, wildlife preservation is the hunting association.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It's probably not the right name for it, but still, like, it's the people that I forgot exactly what it's called. But it's those people because you have to pay to get on the land. You got to pay for your license. Every year you're donating pretty much to preservation. So, I mean, also like there's trophy hunting in Africa,
Yeah.
right? Super,
That's super fucked.
sure. Yeah,
Poaching is fucked.
it is.
Yeah,
But there's also this thing. So let's just think two sides here. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I don't fuck with Tony the Tiger getting fucked up, you know what I'm saying, in Bangladesh or something, or some elephant in Africa or whatever, right? But like, what these lands used to do was there's these small villages in Africa, kind of like the hunting association. They make sure that these animals get big. They live life. They live in a wild. People come in, sure, they pay for that, but what you do with that money is they feed the village.
Mm-hmm.
So because we feel some kind of way about animals, though, this whole village isn't eaten. So we're kind of picking the animal over people. Now, I know that's a touchy subject because it's like all these things and it's this poor animal, things like that. And I get that, But at the same time, it's like, what would an animal do for their family, for their village, right? And I'm not saying get rid of everything, but in the way that they were doing that, what they would actually also do is they would hire ex-poachers to protect the land. So they're actually hiring poachers to protect the animals now. And then once these reservations go awry because some guy that owns Walmart poses with Tony the Tiger, you know what I'm saying? And fucking everyone's like, oh my God, are you serious? And all this other shit. Now the whole village is gone.
yeah.
Now they don't eat. Now poachers are running rampant. Because those ex-poachers were not poachers anymore. Now they're not getting paid. So they're like, I'm going to be a fucking
fuck it.
poacher now. That's the thing. But the ecosystem is so
Poaching
delicate,
is
too.
real, like shark poaching, like whale poaching.
Oh
all
yeah,
that shit
fins,
is-
yo.
Yeah.
That shit is fucking
Yo.
so horrible, bro. It's like the most.
Yeah.
They
And
would
that's-
cut off shark fins and then throw them back in the ocean, and they'll just be bobbing around, all fucked up.
It's fucking crazy.
Still
man.
alive and everything. I'm like, damn.
But at that point, you might as well fucking. But the thing is, like, those are things that are not really endangered either. So that's where things like start to get twisted a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many?
I think it's more so like just like if you question if it's humane or not.
Yeah.
Like if
honestly,
you're-
torture.
So, yeah.
Is
So
not
like
humane. So if you just
yeah.
kill them in a
If
way, it's
you're-
more humane than anything.
so if you have plans on doing that to an animal, just kill the whole thing.
Yeah.
Don't fin it and then throw it back in the ocean and let it slowly die.
Yeah. And also,
It's like
don't
the
be
same
fucking
thing,
with
like-
things that are endangered or
Yeah.
things that can go away. And at the same time, it's like, who are we to do these things? And I get that too. So like we said on this podcast, it's a touchy subject. There's not really a right or wrong way with a lot of things, and that's where I feel like it kind of ties into the gun laws too. There's not every way is right, not every wrong way is wrong. It's like there's so many things that play into it. It's just a delicate ecosystem.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just
It's actually very vicious.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the animal kingdom is vicious as a motherfucker too. That's why I'm using the animal thing as something.
At the end of the day, you're in it hunting and stuff like that. You just disrespect the animal.
Yeah.
Eat the whole thing.
It's actually a lot of hunters that believe in like a clean shot. They don't want the animal to suffer, stuff like that.
Yeah. They don't just blow their fucking face off.
Yo.
They shoot them in the heart, so then they run.
Yeah.
They slowly collapse, and it's actually way more peaceful than a lot of other ways that you could die. You live a full life. It's better than doing the fucking having cows in a fucking farm, trapped, prisoned. I think hunting is actually the more humane way to get an animal. You're in nature. You live your whole life. Great. It's like this. Ready? You could die in prison the last 5 years of your, not even. You could die in prison. Like, how about this? You could be in prison your whole life and then die eventually. Or you could be in the wild, grow a life, have a family, loved ones, things, experience the whole being, and then die. What would you rather do? Is that even a question? So why are we all not making these reservations, these places where these animals can live full lives, and then people hunt them as jobs, and then we eat meat and things that are actually better for the fucking everybody, right?
That sounds like socialism. I don't like that.
That's socialism? What the fuck does that? What are you talking about? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah,
I'm playing.
crazy.
I'm just saying that like
Crazy.
people think shit like that is like so absurd. Like,
What do you guys
to
think
build
about
your
all
own
the
like
isms?
society and like own like
My own isms?
All the isms. Capitalism, communism, socialism.
No.
All these things require authority. And authority usually goes corrupt. You know how many people died under communism, yo? It's pretty sickening.
No, communism shit. That doesn't make sense. Because what happens is it comes in.
Are there any isms that you subscribe to?
I'm not gonna say nah. I mean, like anything that requires authority is gonna have its flaws. So like I don't disagree with people that believe in that, but it's like if you can think outside the box
And
like if your views don't lead to the state using aggression to like get other people, then like we're cool.
yeah.
But
I mean, I hear a lot of like anarchists. I mean, do you identify as an anarchist?
I mean, like certain things you could definitely say, but it's like, so like I always say this, like I've heard some gun guys say like, oh, if there was no government, like I'd kill every person I see. Like that's something fucked up with your moral compass.
That is true.
I would still live my regular life. Strangers would just go by. I'm like, all right, bet you're not gonna hurt me. I'm not gonna hurt you. It's like if that's what you think of off the bat when it comes to anarchy, like you got a problem in your head,
Yeah.
straight up. So therefore, like I don't disagree with like if you harm people like off the bat, like for no reason, like
Then you're a piece
I
of
can't
shit.
feel you, yeah, like real shit. But yeah, like
Well, for
I don't
me,
know, like a lot of history like backs me up.
Yeah, and a lot of history backs up how isms don't work, but then there's also a lot of things that don't work either. You know what I'm saying? I think, but that got us all here. Do you know what I'm saying? So it worked out kind of because I'm around.
We still have a lot to figure out.
That's what I'm saying. But I feel like that's a nice part of the human experience, though.
Yeah.
It's the thought of like trying to questioning things, and I think that's kind of what it comes up to too. Like what you pretty much said,
Question
it's like
everything.
you could be into anything.
Yeah.
Like I could be into one thing, but don't blindly follow anything. Because when you start blindly following something, that's when they start to control you. So even like with the things that you're talking about, what I think it ties into is just the fact that like don't question every single fucking little tiny thing, but at the same time, like if you're confused about something, ask questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Start to question yourself. Start to do your own kind of research. Don't let people talk for you, because then they'll always use you.
Yeah.
It's just in the nature of human beings.
Yeah.
A king will use his people. A country uses the men and women to fight wars. The country uses business to build all this. The money, it's just people use people, but it's all about who you want to fight for, really, too.
Yeah.
And people that
What do you believe in?
You just gotta live in the middle. Like I feel like you can't, like what you're saying, you can't be too one sided on anything. Because if you're too one sided on that, you're never gonna even want to understand the other side. I always feel like this. Like if you're against something, submerge yourself in it. If you feel like I don't know that, I don't understand that, that's scary, jump right into it and put yourself in that world.
Yeah.
Because only way you're gonna secure your beliefs is if you know everything about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be over here and be like, I'm scared of that, I fucking hate that, but don't know shit about it. Because you're just stupid. That's ignorant. You know what I mean?
It's always like a crazy spiral. Actually, I wanted to bring this up earlier. Like I saw like these advertisements in the UK. Like you can't buy hammers there anymore. Like they have these ads saying like if you know someone that buys a knife, report. Like bro, that shows you that it's all trickles down to control.
Yeah.
So has the murders go down? That was one of my questions. Like since the guns, like you can't get no guns in UK. Like
What about a nail gun?
has the murders gone down like they say?
Believe it or not, I seen this.
Think of population though too.
I seen this article a couple months ago. UK overtook New York in batteries, death by battery.
Yeah, because people were beating each other with or stabbings. Actually, the UK is the number one stabbings in the world. Isn't that kind of funny?
So what does that say about like the gun law? Like what does that?
What it says is human nature is always going to be violent if it wants to be violent. Real shit.
Yeah, and and think about it, like if you're getting in a knife fight with fucking Ray Lewis, you know what I'm saying? Good fucking luck, right? But what if Ray Lewis is on a bunch of blow and a bunch of fucking meth and he's been up all night just like just fucking wired out
I don't
trying to
know,
stab
dude.
somebody?
I think that's still an L.
I guess you're right. But if I had a burner on me,
Oh yeah, he's definitely getting put away.
that's what I'm saying. America!
Fuck yeah.
All right, but look, I think it comes down to this too, right? We live, and this is what it always comes down to, right? Because this is what Fuck with Philly represents, right? Is we fuck with our city, we fuck with our people.
Philly, stand up.
You know what? I'll be honest. This country can be fucked up. We got some things to fix, right? But goddamn, where else would I fucking want to be right now, baby? Who fucking raw? I would rather be right here than anywhere else. Sure, people are like, I want to go to Europe. I want to travel and go to the mountains and whatever the fuck, right? Sure, you want to do that for like a month, and then you're like, I want to go fucking back home. You want a cheesesteak, dude. You want a cheesesteak out here. And I think this is... People have a lot of problems with capitalism as well, but what I do like about capitalism, in a way, the problem with capitalism is there's still this monopoly that you can still do, which is fucking up everything. Amazon buys everything. Everything's Amazon,
I'm going to keep it a whole bean. If it wasn't for capitalism, like, I can see the pros and cons and everything.
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't have shit like this. That's for sure.
No, we wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah.
This is the thing of freedom for us to be like, fuck this and fuck that. Like, that is so important, dude.
Think
How
of
many-
capitalism as like bottleneck freedom.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like you got all your freedom down here and then your bottleneck, but like there's all this freedom up here. That's what capitalism is.
And
Like
what-
they give you your little taste of freedom.
Sure. And this is the thing. This is where I think big business comes in and fucks it all up. Is that because the golden rule of, the United States and everything is that, like, if you work hard, you'll make it. You can make it anywhere. New York! You know what I'm saying? But fucking, you know what I'm saying? Streets paved with gold and titties. You know what I'm saying? Just all out, all there for you, right? But I think where big business comes in, it's like, let's say you come from, like, out of country, right? You're like, man, I can get the job at this McDonald's. And I could work all my hours and my whole life away, and I'll make it. But you won't, because big business doesn't fuck with you, right?
Yeah.
But the thing I like about capitalism is in certain areas, it kind of provides a chance of entrepreneurship. Make your own motherfucking bread. You know what I'm saying? You could be a sheep. You could be a sheepdog. You could be a wolf.
No cap. I feel like I'm not saying I'm a socialist, but I definitely lean more towards socialist like ideology. I'm not like a Marxist or anything, but I like the idea of like everyone
like it's
having
possible,
a job and a role to
I do,
bring
but everybody's
everybody
different.
up
That's the thing
and
that
help
gets me.
everybody.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's
It's
different.
possible to have like
Yeah.
a good like moral standpoint in all your isms. Trust me, like I get
Yeah.
it. But like all those require some type of authority, and at some point it gets ugly.
Yeah.
Like
Sometimes it could
Yeah.
fall through.
like I definitely lean more socialist on certain things. I will openly
Love
admit
free
that
healthcare,
for sure.
free
But
housing,
it's
things
flaws
like that.
and everything. Like I seen this blog. It was this dude in Europe. I can't remember exactly where. He was like, "Yeah, the healthcare is free, but you got to wait like a year to get a fucking visit because there's so many people that jump on that."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, like you kind of start to hear things from different people that walk like a different path in life, and like their government and their system's different.
Yeah.
It's like, would you really want to wait a year just to get a physical?
Well, the thing with real quick with that,
Or just like a fucking like emergency visit.
yeah. What I think is fair, right? I think you should all be provided a free health care, but then also be able to spend money on health care, right? So like, let's say you're like, dude, I have no money spent on health care. I still think you should be able to get something, right? But like, let's say you're a person that's like, I'll spend $40 a month on my health care or whatever. Like, you just like a company or something like that, right? Like if you're sick or if you're a person that has an illness or something that's, that can kill you, I think you should be able to buy into something extra where it's like, okay, you get that special extra kind of care. But I think even the opportunity of having one in a month is a lot better than a lot of other people, Some people can't even afford an ambulance. I mean, that's pretty fucking crazy. Like, what if you're dying in the fucking corner?
Yo,
you're
I
thinking
always
about how
told
am I supposed
myself
to pay this, It's $500 for an ambulance ride. Depends on where you are, but yeah,
Yo,
usually it's about $500. Yeah.
Yo, I always told myself like my friends have like showed me how to fix up some pretty serious things like for like a short amount of time.
What was that thing they stuck in your nose, bro?
That was an MPA.
That shit was
Yeah, what is that?
gnarly,
Can you explain that?
So-
That look crazy.
Like,
We can put
have
a
you
little
guys
picture
ever
right here.
seen like say like a doctor or like an EMT with like that big bubble and they're like pumping air into the person?
Yeah.
That's what that tube is. Basically, they lube it up. Any kind of like so.
You shove it right in your airway.
Yeah. So my friend Doc said that he's used like fucking someone's blood as lube to like stick it in there.
Holy
Like,
shit.
It's pretty much however you can get it in there. Like if they're not breathing on their own, like you gotta get that joint in and.
And what do you use?
Do
And then you put a pump in it. And you
Yeah,
pump
so
it.
like they put like a bunch of like fucking tape on to like
So like if
pretty
someone's
much
shot,
create like a good seal.
if someone's shot, you still want to get air into their lungs, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the thing. Do you think that like the people that you've hung out with, I mean, I know you don't want to say their names, but like ex-military people that have been in the shit, in the sticks, like, do you think that their experience telling you like how grimy the world can be has kind of changed your
Oh yeah, it
mind
definitely
on a lot
opens
of
up your
stuff?
mind. Like don't take shit lightly.
Mm-hmm.
Like shit can go from 0 to 100. You
Yeah.
could be at a bar and like start mixing a dude over a bar stool and he cracks your head open.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some crazy shit.
Yeah, like
You could
life
just be
is-
walking with your lady somewhere and some dude like holds you up and you might have like that mindset like, fuck this guy, I'm gonna mix him, and he stabs you with a 12-inch blade.
Yeah. Or even you could be fucking walking on the sidewalk and someone's looking at their phone for a second, hits something, and then drives right into the
Yeah.
sidewalk and kills
Mhm.
you. I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's so many fucking things.
For sure, man.
That shit's out of pocket.
But damn,
It's a
Yo, let's talk
brutal
about
place.
you talking about hobbies. Yeah, guns a hobby. Yo, do you want to talk about your other hobby? Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I do
so
have
what's
another
hobby?
passion.
What's
Yeah.
your other passion?
I build Gundam model kits, and I spend a decent amount of time on them. I put the stickers on them, do the panel.
but does that do something? Does that hit the same kind of, like, what does that do for you? Similar to
definitely
guns?
it's definitely like a more like rewarding sense, like knowing that like you're getting good at something. It's like
Or something to build, right?
yeah, like you see something come together, and like you kind of like put your own little twist on it, and like in that relation to guns, it's like a satisfying sense because it's like you get proficient with guns. It's like rewarding. It's like, oh shit, like I can shoot that apple at 50 yards.
Yeah.
Like that's hard, but like I got there and I can do it.
Yeah.
Or it's like,
It's something you can build on. Even your weapons you can build on.
oh
as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah, I built ARs before and shit
Yeah.
like that.
It's
so
like
yeah.
something you could take care of and you could like be,
Yeah.
and it's something
sure.
that's just kind of like in you.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Zen. Like the longest build took me like 4 hours, and like you don't even think about like how long it's taking. It's just like, oh, I bet I hope this doesn't end.
wanna-
Just
I
enjoying
wanna-
every second of it.
I want to
Yeah.
link you with that boy, yo. I
Yo,
didn't get to meet. He
Gundam
was.
nerd.
I went
bro.
into the warehouse, man. He was knocked out.
That's
with
crazy.
my homie Gus and shit.
Yeah.
He was showing us around, and the boy was like right there, and he
Yeah.
had like, and I was like, he was like, yeah, he's the top Gundam builder
Yeah.
in the world.
Bro, he
And I was like,
won
in the world, not really
2018,
small
yeah.
fucking
Not
world,
just
dude.
found out about what that was. I didn't
Yeah.
even know what the fuck that was. And
Bro,
then-
he went to Japan and basically like made history. Like it's fucking crazy. So
Right out of Philly, right?
yeah.
Right, Keenan?
So
Right out of Philly?
It's funny.
Is this how we work?
So my friend Doc that is also into guns, he's met that guy. He was like, "Yo, follow this dude. He's really cool."
Yeah,
Yeah,
DC's on here. The DC's, I have the DC.
yeah, that shit's crazy, man, for sure.
But Sean, so like what, like ideally, what's like your perfect job? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the thing that like where you're like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, kind of thing.
So like, it's not necessarily like a job where like, okay,
If you had if you had a job,
yeah,
or if you had something you could do that would just pay all your bills.
if I got like a grant, right?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, cool. So if I got like a grant, I'd definitely open up a hobby store and like a successful gun shop. Not have them together, have them completely separate. Because it's like dudes that like I know that are in the hobby that like would not be like, oh shit, that's a big scary gun, bro. Like,
playing to different crowds.
So it's like always like appeal to like different cliques of people. Like I've always been cool with people that have been like not like weirdos to me, but like other people would definitely call them fucking weirdos for sure. But like we're tight,
Gotcha.
you know. So it's like if you like appeal to different people, like you can like bring a lot of shit together for sure. So I would definitely have a hobby shop, and then I'd have like a FFL, fucking SOT, sell machine guns, you know, because there is a market for that. It's rich ass people that buy like $40,000 guns.
How many guns are you allowed to like legally have in the United States?
Yeah, is there
Oh no, there's no limit.
There's no limit.
Yeah, no.
they're doing something right.
Yeah.
That's wild. There's probably
kinda
people
nice.
out there with hundreds of guns.
Yo, you can buy shit that like you would never think you could buy. Like you can buy like a fucking flamethrower from World War II.
You can buy a flamethrower from fucking Elon Musk.
Yeah. But I'm talking like the John, like they got the tanks on their back and they put it in the crowd hole and you can come out. Yeah. You can buy a tank.
Aaron's like 8 minutes and he's like, look at his fingers. Like how many fingers he's gonna fucking put up, dude. Jesus fucking
Yeah, you can buy a
Christ.
tank. You can actually buy grenades, but it's extremely regulated. Like, so have I told you guys the process on getting a suppressor? Like, I had to pay $200, fingerprints, passport pictures, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
so you said it's kind of like it's just putting you on a list that like
Yeah, so like
if
basically,
someone got
like
don't-
my fingerprints are in the same database as like a felon. Isn't that funny? Yeah, and it's all on like a registry. And
can
like
they tell if a bullet is shot suppressed?
that's actually a good question. I guess it depends on the circumstances, but apparently,
Is there like
from
a
what I
spread?
hear, from what people tell me,
Yeah.
from what friends tell me, modern forensics is apparently crazy now.
Like it's
Like
they can find out where you
yeah,
just that last.
like they can track guns like back to like the 10th seller
Damn.
if it got that far. Kind of scary to think about because it's like if
Yeah.
you're not doing anything wrong, like they can still find you.
That is pretty
If they say like, oh, bet like now we're definitely taking people's guns, like go get that bull, go get that bull.
if they know exactly
Yeah.
who it is.
But
That's wild. How long do you have to wait for your suppressor?
my first one was 230 days, and then my second one was 9 months. All for an attachment. All right, so look, it's like you wouldn't sell a car without a muffler, right? Because a muffler is technically a suppressor. If you didn't have a muffler, your car would sound crazy, like crazy.
That is true.
So
That's
like
very true.
why like not sell guns with suppressors on it without having to go through all that crazy shit?
That's true.
I know guys that have like that spent 30 grand alone in just the tax to get all that NFA stuff. National Firearms Act, suppressors fall under that act, machine guns, you know, all that crazy shit. Crazy. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. But yo, fucking Sean Wiggs out here, dude, spitting fucking knowledge, dude. We're talking some real shit. This has been fucking dope, man. I mean, like I said, me and Sean have done too many podcasts together, like 13. You can check out the Black Jew podcast too with me, Sean, our buddy Ty. Of course, you know, we're here, Fuck with Philly, bringing Sean on to really talk about his views, to really get to know Sean. It's been a fucking pleasure, buddy.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Let's sign out of here. So, till next time, kids, we're Fuck with Philly. Bam!